this week was some of the most challenging fishing I think Jack, Neil and I have ever done. We've been fishing for the last week in the French Alps at a remote lake of about 40 acres. We've been fishing over about 300 metres away from the bank, and it's been exceptionally hard and exceptionally challenging, with some big problems along the way, but some fantastic rewards. Jack managed a new PB, we all managed some really amazing looking fish. We're on the way home, I'm absolutely knackered, but we're almost about halfway from Calais. Guys, enjoy the film. Please leave a comment in the comments below on where you think we should be going on our next European adventure. Until then, enjoy the film, and we'll be seeing you again soon.
They said come to the Alps. They said it would be sunny. I'm a broken man.
Well, hello again guys. This is another European adventure. Although this time I'm starting this vlog a little bit different. Sat in a very, very wet, muddy bivvy. We've finally managed to get a couple of rods out. Not many, but we're sat trying to keep dry. So just give you a bit of an update and bring you up to where we are. Yesterday we made the long drive down from Calais down to the French Alps, and we're on the most incredible body of water that I think I've ever seen. You've got mountains just over the background. The water is crystal clear and is home to some absolute gigantic carp. But the weather conditions so far have been absolutely dire. We are currently sitting there sort of end of May, start of June. Meant to be nice and sunny, but being in the Alps, unpredictable weather, it is raining very, very hard. So not the start that I wanted to bring you guys to this vlog, to this film, but nonetheless, we're here, we're fishing. Me, George Treadwell, Jack Player to the left of me, and Neil Cater just to the right. The three of us, part two of our European adventure. Stay with us, this is going to be an absolutely sick trip.
Well, it's been some journey to get here. We're now down in the south of France on our next Euro adventure, myself, George and Neil, and it was a head of a drive to get down. I think I left mine at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon and we got here about 12 o'clock on Monday. But we're here, we're out in these stunning venues just outside of the Alps, and just out in the boat, found ourselves a couple of spots earlier on, and just dropping my last rig. We've had some weather today, as we can tell in raincoats. It's been pouring down, but it feels really good. We've seen a few fish off the boat, and let's see what happens. But I'm so excited to be here. This is proper wild fishing. See over there. So we came out earlier on and found a few spots out with the rotor blocks, and just where I'm fishing there's a slight raise up in the lake bed. It's quite a firmer area, so I'm going to drop 2 rigs on there. This one just being a little tiger on a slip D with a bit of corn over the top. Something straightforward and simple, but I'm going to drop 2 rods off this spot. My other one's fished way out further left down my own margin, but stick this one on, get back to the shore, probably have a beer, see what happens. So 2 1/8 with my hands in. So just dropped my last rod down onto my firm spot. Oh yeah, that feels perfect. So that's my last rod now. So we're just gonna head back to shore. Got 2 rods just off this block. A little bit of crumb, little bits of boilies out there, and I think we're laughing. So just throwing some triple X and some tigers, a few chops, a few holes with some fish liquid over the top. Really simple, straightforward fishing off the back of the boat. Whole pieces, there's some big fish out here, so we want to give them a fair bit of bait over and around the spot, and I think we're good to go. So drop the rig, just holding my finger on the line and sinking it as I make our way back to the base camp on the other side of the margin. But all looks really good. We've had a break in the weather, which is perfect to get that last rod out, and let's hope these fish turn up and start feeding. Looks great for it over here. What a venue. Well, here we are, south of France, and what a venue. I think when we all turned up yesterday afternoon, we didn't quite expect it to look as good as it did. As I said, we got here yesterday afternoon, but bit of a nightmare getting set up. We were all knackered, so we quickly just fired a few rods out and sort of got our heads down. But today, got the boat out and really gone about it. We've all got our spots. Neil's just on his way out now to place his last rig, but the rigs are out quite a bit of range. It feels really good. Got a bit of rain tonight, which isn't ideal, but could get the fish feeding. But all looks good. Time for a beer, ready to go.
Got him higher?
Neil's made his 7th new mate.
I make lots of friends when I'm out here, mate. I told you.
Neil loves friends.
French friends. Dragonfly.
Oh, look, Dragonfly's in the same spot. I think I need to go longer, George.
You got longer spots?
I can get out there.
I've got a new pet. The most random thing I've found here so far. Although we have found a flip-flop as well, which was another thing that George loves. But yeah, I've got a little pet dragonfly. It's just crawled out. So I assume he's just drying out, waiting to fly off. But another cool thing in France. Not only are we in the Alps, but we've also got a little pet. I'll keep him dry. I think it's just about to rain. So yeah, he'll go back in and then we'll see what happens.
Just managed to get the rod set. Blocks out on a couple of spots, and just spent half an hour watching the water, and my left hand rod is just down the side of my margin, and it's actually not that far out. I've just seen a few fish rolling in exactly the same spot much further on, so quickly going to knock up another rod. We've got big rain front coming in, so I'm going to try and fly it in the boat as quickly as possible, try and find a new spot much further on, and it's looking good over there. The fish are showing on the same spot, so rig sorted, back in the boat, try and miss the rain, and hopefully next time you see me, fish on. Well, after only putting this rod out about an hour ago, I saw a few fish roll much further past my rotor block, so I quickly whipped that one back in, headed straight back out in the boat, pulled the rotor block out and went much further on into the area. As I got into the zone, I saw quite a bit of fizzing in a certain area, so I dropped the rotor block down straight away and saw hitting quite a lot of sort of, almost felt like I was hitting mussel shells or some sort of good sort of fine pea shingle. So straight away dropped the block and dropped my rig back in that new area. A few tigers over the top, and that's where they were showing, so fingers crossed this will be the first one that goes. Get up, rods.
Tamir's caught the dinosaur, we've got Norcosaurus rex out here.
A very, very, very good morning. About an hour ago, my right hand rod went into absolute meltdown, and after a long battle, because I'm fishing right over the far margin, managed to get this guy in. And what a way to start this campaign, this week-long session here in the Alps. Just over 27 pound, not the biggest, but certainly a very, very warm welcome carp. Unfortunately, late last night, Neil also struck into a carp, but wasn't to be, and managed to drop the fish. But fingers crossed that one of the other boys will pick one up next. In the meantime, gonna get a few snaps of this one, get some breakfast, and then make a plan what we're gonna do today. But very, very happy, my first alpine carp. My first alpine carp, 27 pound, a good way to start this this second European adventure. Right, on to you now, Jack or Neil. It's your turn on the rods. Let's try and get a few more of these scaly bangers. Off you go, beautiful. Third rod out now. Jack's already got his 3 out. Neil's got to use the boat now to get his 3 rods out. But it is absolutely teeming with carp on that far margin. Just put out about 5 kilos of Odyssey Triple X on each spot. May sound like a lot of bait, but these are big fish, and they're hungry fish as well. So wild carp like this, far margin, big beds of bait, well presented rigs. Come on, another carp. So I'm just settling the line back down. It's a long way across that lake. It's about, I think we worked out to be about 300 metres, Jack?
340 metres.
340 metres, so a long way over. But that's where the fish are. They're holding up in the snags on the far side. And when I say snags, these are big fallen trees, probably come down in a storm last year. And all the fish are sort of sitting in and amongst them. You've got to be fishing where the fish are. Jack's found some fantastic spots, some little gravel bars out in the middle of the lake, so he's got a slightly different approach to what I have. We have no idea what Neil's up to. Neil's being Neil right now, and he's trying to work out how he can fish more accurately over to the far margin as well. So I'm going to finish getting this line sunk, get it on the pod, hand the boat over to Neil. It's his turn to go out and get his rod set. Would you believe it? Sat there just enjoying some lunch. Neil's getting his rods out. My left rod's away. Looks like the fact that Neil's rowing the boat back as well, that the boat's now run out of battery. So we're gonna have to find ourselves another leisure battery before long. But hopefully we can get this one in all right. There's some guys just turned up behind the cameraman, behind Jack now, to do a bit of swimming. So hopefully they won't cause us too many problems.
So, boat's just died. We've just dived in with the camera and George is playing what we think is a much bigger fish. Excuse for the terrible footage. We've got some locals, French locals on mopeds next to us.
Couldn't believe it, could you? Like, it's been absolutely glorious, like tranquil weather, like quiet, lovely. And all of a sudden we've had about 4 mopeds turn up in the literally right next to it.
It's on your line, Neil.
It's pretty dead.
That's on 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. In the surface.
Oh mate,
That's a kipper. That's a big fish.
oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's got a bit of fur in it. I've wiped out another one of my lines. Fuck. What's in though? Well, that was a pretty hectic couple of minutes. Literally, as I picked the rod up, a load of mopeds just turned up behind us, and Jack, bless him, grabbed the camera, started filming, but with loads of locals then shouting at us, it felt only right to just chuck the camera straight back in the bivvy, grab the old GoPro instead, and then try and get some footage with a GoPro. Nonetheless, landed it, got it in, we managed to get that rod back out. Neil's finally got his rods in, got them out even. So let's get this fish out and have a look, shall we? There we go, fish number 2 for this session. A little bit smaller than the first one, but nonetheless still very, very welcome. The temperature is really getting up right now. Must be close to 30 degrees, if not in the 30s. So it's time I get some sun cream on, I think, as soon as we've got this one back, because I can feel myself starting to burn. That was a mental 10 minutes that. At the same time, a couple of mopeds turned up, really noisy in the background, and the boat ran out of battery. Neil was in the middle of putting his rods out, and Jack was trying to put a bit of extra line on his spool so he didn't run out. So a really busy 10 minutes. Right, let's get this guy back, get a little bit more bait knocked up, because I have a feeling this is not going to be the last one for the session. Thank you very much. Fish number 2 of what is so far turning out to be an absolutely brilliant hot session. Right, got him, beautiful. Bye bye, Alp Carp number 2.
The weather here is so interchangeable in this alpine conditions. Yesterday pouring rain all day, and today back in the bright sunshine. But it's a perfect opportunity to get back out in the boat and have a look at the spots that I found yesterday in the rain. when I went out, I actually found on my left-hand rod, 10 yards to the right of it, the water was completely gin clear, and as I ran the deeper over, it came up to 11 foot. Completely crystal clear down there, and I could actually see myself placing the rig on the bottom and just over 11.5 foot of water. So the left-hand rods went back out, and my 2 rods, which were placed long on the rotor block out, sort of almost spooled me. Just moved that out. When deeper, we just found I came up onto the side of a plateau on some really firm ground. So we put a lot of bait out today, about 5 kilos on each spot of triple X and a few tigers over the top. And it feels fantastic for a fish today. We've heard that this lake fishes really well in the sun and the hot weather, and that's what we've got today. The rods are out, and I feel really hopeful after George's fish this morning that at some point today I can get into a few, but feeling really good. The spots feel perfect, and I'm absolutely loving our experience here. First time using the boat, lots to learn, and each time you go out I'm really learning new pieces, but today feels really good. The rods feel great, and I can't wait to see what happens. Stay tuned. There's the third. What? There's the third.
Oh, it's a nice cultured. Graceful.
Well, when in Rome, nowhere else ever better than a shower. Nice bottle of Gucci. Lads, who's first?
Hey!
Smells incredible. 100% masculine, that. That's fucking... Can you see that?
What?
It's off. Oh, George thinks that line. Oh, so it's been absolute pandemonium this afternoon. Fortunately, George had another fish, but as in his update, he said we had a flat battery at the time. I was trying to put new backing spool on my my reels to get a bit further out, but it's been absolutely nuts. But just going to spend the afternoon tying up a few rigs. It looks really good in this weather across all of our spots now. So just going to spend that this afternoon. We had a little swim, a little shower up earlier in the water, and I'm just going to tie up a few rigs just for tonight, just in case it hits off. It feels really good today. Hopefully we'll keep you updated. Keep saying it. I'm hoping so. I'll keep you updated soon.
Hopefully Neil gets one as well.
I'm not here for fish. I'm here just to look good.
Oh, Daniel Craig over there.
Here for the
Craig David.
here for the moments.
Yeah. I'm only here for entertaining the crowds.
There's a
Oh, I've not done it again. Here goes another. Mate, that is the third baiting heat I've done.
busted a bait in it.
So it turns out I had a bit of a stinker last night, as George said earlier. Snag fishing at distance, and it just got in before I could get back out and get over to it. Could feel it on, and then it's just grated through and just cut me off. But I fished properly today. I think the first day any of us feel like we fished properly.
Yeah.
Even with George's fluky fish last night, he even openly admits he didn't do what he wanted to. We're all right now. We've got the battery's gone flat, but we've got a set of paddles, so we're paddling away like billy-o to get across to the other side. There's a lot of line out in the lake, but luckily there's no one else fishing it, so we're going to make the most of it. Hopefully we've got better areas, we're fishing better, and there's a fair bit of bait gone in to try and hold them rather than paddling out 350 metres each time. So yeah, we'll be all right. We'll get some food in a while because it's been a long day. We've been trudging along, and it's taking its toll now. So at least it's sunny, rain's stopped. We'll be all right for the night.
Up there, one of the best showers I've ever had. That was.
Most picturesque one I've ever had.
Oh, yeah, I'll back that steak. That's got fish written all over it. You can't frame it in. The problem is you can't hit the lake and then frame that top side, can you?
No.
So would you believe it? Just sat there, just having 10 minutes, having a drink, because we've been working blooming hard today, getting the rods out, backwards and forwards, my middle rod, fishing tight up against the snag. has sprung into life. Well, I'm going to get straight out in the boat on this one because I don't want it messing up any of the other lines. But Neil's just getting that ready for us now. Let's go and do battle. Fingers crossed we get her in.
Well, George.
Oh, what an absolute scrap that was. It towed me and Neil pretty much the whole length of the lake. And pretty much stuck to the bottom the whole time. Heart in your mouth kind of moment. Knew it was a big fish. And when we finally saw it, wow. It's a big fish. Looking forward to getting this one out and having a good look. Last week, if you'd have told me, coming to the French Alps, I could have caught a couple of fish, I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd have said to catch a 40 pounder, I definitely wouldn't have believed you. But look, dreams do come true, and I'm absolutely buzzing to catch this 42.5 pound mirror. My first Alpine 40, like I said, absolutely over the moon. Look at that for a chunk. Absolute beat us up in the boat, but it was certainly worth it. Right, I'm gonna get this guy back in a minute because he definitely wants to get back to his watery home. But let's get a couple of pictures first because that scenery is absolutely banging. What a fish. Well, I just sat down, me and Neil making some dinner. Jack had disappeared off to use the loo.
Mug.
And sat there, and literally as soon as he's come back, my middle rod, the one that I've just put back out, is away again. Now, as much as I love catching carp, this hasn't come at the best time. I'm absolutely starving. We've worked blooming hard today. And all I've been thinking about all afternoon, all day, is some decent food. But at the moment, we're playing a carp. What an absolute nightmare. Managed to get out in the boat all the way above it, and unfortunately, Dink just bumped it literally pretty much as we got above it. But not to worry, we managed to get the rod straight back out because thankfully in the boat, always taking out one of these little ridge monkey tubs, and in there we've got some extra hook baits, some extra leaders, and some extra rigs already prepped, ready to go. So it's a simple case of take off the old rig, new one on, new bait, and then manage to drop it in place and then row back. Thankfully, Neil's been here cooking us up an absolute storm. I'm absolutely starving. The sun is going down over the back of these mountains. It's time for something to eat and something to drink. Very, very well deserved. And trust me, if my rods don't go tonight, I'm getting a good night's sleep. Let's have some food.
I'm waiting for you to give me a count.
I have, I've already pushed play ages ago.
What a day we've had today. We've just eaten, Neil's just done an absolute madness on some delicious chorizo meatballs. We've got a flat battery on the boat. George has had an absolute chunk and a nice couple of 20s, and my rods are sat quiet all day, which is to be anticipated. Fishing out in the middle of the lake, I'm anticipating them to go off overnight, touch wood. Just gonna have a cup of tea now, chill out. The frogs have just started kicking up. It's a real wild venue here, and it feels like we're surrounded by about 1,000 frogs, and tonight they go absolutely nuts like they do every night. But cup of tea, chill out for the rest of the evening. We're here with good friends, good company, and fingers crossed it's not just George catching kippers, and tonight me and Neil can make it happen. We'll see you in the morning, if not before.
Thanks. Great cup of tea. Thanks.
No worries.
Good morning. The weather certainly cleared up a little bit. A couple of hours ago it was fork lightning all around us and we had a massive storm come through the area. Just before that, managed to land this, whoa, very lively mid 20-pound common. Didn't really feel great in coming out in the storm or getting the rods back out when there was lightning all around us. So we've waited for it to pass, and now I'm able to get this fantastic looking creature out on the bank to show you. Next up, we're going to get her back. She desperately wants to go home, and we're going to go out and find a couple of new spots for the other guys, and I need to put a little bit more bait out and put that rod back out on its spot. Didn't really fancy going out in the boat in the storm, but a very welcome fish, and a very beautiful one at that. Right, let's get her back to her watery home, and then let's get to work. Banging. This is turning out to be an awesome session. Next job is to get Jack and Neil back onto their rods and catching these beautiful carp as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a jig around with some spots now, get back out in the boat, get some bait out, and fingers crossed we'll start producing some more fish off some different spots. But in the meantime, we're going to get some breakfast on the go, head back to the van because we're going to need to get a little bit more bait, and just enjoy the morning. Right, thank you very much, Mr. Carp. I shall see you, hopefully, another day.
What's wrong, Neil?
I'm tired. George poisoned me. George is a bungling clown that tries to feed you raw chicken. But I'll survive. I'm a fighter. Don't worry about me. I'm going to go up and do my laps in my boat in a minute. Can't do my step count, I'm going to do my row count instead. I'm going to do a couple of laps because why not? We've got a gay white boat.
What's wrong with a white boat?
Oh, right.
I'm getting up.
Let's do it, mate.
No, I'm not.
Just heading back to the bank with Neil. Been out in the boat to find our last final third spot for the evening. It's been a long day today. Apologies we haven't managed to get much filming done, but we've had to nip off to the shop. We managed to get another leisure battery. Whee! So we've got the engine going again, and we are rocking 3 good spots now. It's taken us a while to get here. One other bit of valuable bit of kit that we got: set of goggles or like a diving mask. And you can see I'm pretty wet at the moment because I've had my head over the side of the boat, eyeing up them spots, making sure that they are absolutely perfect. We've been putting them rigs on. So head back to the bank now. Definitely a cold beer, I think, mate.
Oh yeah.
And we think we're going to get barbecue or chili on tonight, and kick back and enjoy that sun going down. But in the meantime, hopefully we'll obviously end up with getting a fish.
It's been another grueler today. Temperatures are up, which is lucky after the thunderstorm last night because it was horrible. If you look at the scenery behind, I don't think you can beat that, but I've got a little bit tighter. I did have enough line on my braid reels, which I didn't think early part of the week, so back to braid, fish up against the snag a little bit closer, but locking everything absolutely solid. And to be fair, it's got a good dose of bait now. I think I've put 8 kilos of bait, mix of XXX and some tigers on it. Seems to be what George is doing and catching on. Hopefully we can pick 1 fish off, if not 2, from these areas now. I'm damn sight more confident than I was this morning, but we'll be good. Let's set up for the evening now. We'll have a cold beer, a little bit of a sit down, because it's just been, although we haven't seemed to have achieved anything, we seem to have been busy all day. But if you look around at the scenery, who cares? First, yeah, short ones first. 6 first. Put some more. Finger tight, finger shy.
See how she holds.
We could have done super kit, I think. Nut down.
Just on the 7th grass in.
Yeah. 7th blade of grass in there.
7th blade in. I'll have a run now and he's going to go fucking everywhere.
Wank wank material.
Here you go, stick them on the bottom. Little caps just so you don't damage the sand. Got the most expensive barbecue coal going, Weaver. I think we're now on Thursday of our week here in the French Alps, and another stop-start day. The leisure battery died on the boat yesterday, which made it quite difficult with George having a few fish, having to row out and row back in again. So myself and George started out sort of midday today, spent a few hours mooching around, eventually found a battery shop over in not too far from here. So managed to get a couple of new leisure batteries. We'll hopefully see us through to the end of the week. Sort of come back and managed to get all of the rods out for the night, some good spots. Best news is we managed to pick ourselves up probably the cheapest barbecue I've ever seen. That's what those long ones are for.
No, definitely.
It's weird because I've got 3 long screws
And 1 little one.
1 little one,
That's got to be for some sort of handle mechanic.
but I've got 2 bolts.
How stable is that? Do we bother putting the other bit on?
Nah, she's good, isn't it?
Don't think I'm going to bother. It's my life, isn't it? Don't bother.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Is that what you need? Do you want to put a middle one on?
Middle?
Nah, don't need a middle one.
Ta-da! 32 years mechanical engineering, as it's all fine. Just saying. Now all we've got to do is work out how George has a fire without firelighters,
Because George said he doesn't need firelighters to light a barbecue.
I don't need firelighters, so you know who I am. George Treadwell.
I can set fire to anything.
Tune in an hour's time where George is still trying to burn stuff to get this thing fired up. Just throw the old bag on and set fire to it and see what happens.
Everything's going on there.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Look at that!
that.
Don't know how much meat it'll hold before it falls over.
We just need.
It's brought the legs in.
Well, Thursday night, Neil's finally built a barbecue. He's desperately trying to light it, but I thought it's a perfect time to take you through the summer box from Club Carp. This one that we've worked really hard on throughout the spring to get this one ready. I thought it's the perfect time to sort of take you through what's inside our subscription services, which come out every quarter, and also show you the rig that I'm using to try and catch some of these alpine carp. So I'm going to open this one up, talk through some of the pieces inside, and how I incorporate them in my fishing in the attempt to try and catch one of these huge French carp. So let's tuck in. When you open your box, you're always greeted with a welcome message from the co-founders, George and Harriet, who originally set up Club Carp over a couple of years ago now. And it's presented really nicely inside its own box, perfectly wrapped by some of the Club Carp team. So as we dive in, and this summer's box is in collaboration with Thinking Anglers and the one and only Oz Holness. So inside every box, you receive a rig card, which shows you how to tie the rig and the components that are included inside that. This summer box also coincides with the launch of our CC Perspective, and our first quarter, where we've picked 3 anglers in question and printed some of their pictures inside the box that have used the hashtag CC Perspective to enter their chances of getting an image in the in one of our boxes coming up. So we have a selection of different images, and this month 4 different images taken by different people and shared those on Instagram. Straight away I'm greeted with one of our latest exclusive products to Club Carp, and that is one of our very own mugs. This one being a matte black with a cool image on the back side. So if I dive into the rig components, so this is to tie Oz Holness's D-rig. So we have some tint link material, beaked chod hooks, some hook ring swivels, and then some hook point protectors. Not only do we receive those bits, we've got a few other little pieces tucked in as well, including a little taster pack. Well, I wouldn't recommend eating them. A couple more exclusive products from Club Carp, including some foam pop-ups and a baiting needle, some paracord to tie onto the handle of your mug, along with some Nash stickers, and finally, which I think is one of my favourite pieces of this summer box, is this awesome little card holder from Club Carp. It's great for putting inside your tickets for your local lakes, and a really cool little bit of kit and a nice memento to throw inside your tackle box. So there we have it, all of the bits that come inside this summer's Club Carp subscription box. Make sure you sign up at www.clubcarp.com to register yourself for our next box, which is in autumn. But without further ado, I think I'm going to help Neil out with the barbecue, see if we can get this alight, get a bit of food on the go, and then we can settle in for a lovely evening. Hopefully we'll catch up with you later on. They're cooking second up.
So, I've been asked for an evening update. Nothing's happened for me again, surprise, surprise. Jack and George just basically abandoned me to go gallivanting round Grenoble. I swear they went for a beer.
I wish we did.
Went where?
For a beer.
Well, apparently Jack went to use the toilet and it wasn't quite so nice. So yes, blanking again like an absolute demon. We know it's not easy. We've seen a lot of fish in a snag far side. Between Jack and George, they've got 3 rods on it now, I think. It's still a long way off. It's a long chat. I think it's 300 plus, which is a long run for anyone. We've got 2 new leisure batteries, so we're back in the game. The rowing was great going out, not so great coming back, because any movement you get sideways, you're just putting another 20-30 yards of line out, and you don't want it. It's just going all over the shop. So had a barbecue, which is probably the best. It's been the highlight.
Oh,
We've had a busy, hectic day, but no results yet, other than George showing off again. So tonight's the night. We've got places that are spotted. George even put a diving mask on, so bless Aqua Boy. We both took him out and just sent him in the water. He loves it. So yeah, for tonight, hopefully, I've moved closer to the rods, so if it does go, I'm literally dropping on top of them. My backrests aren't the grippiest, so I've tied some cord on there just to lock it down so it's not going to go anywhere, because they are savage, there's no two ways about it. George's fish he had the other day just towed us around the lake for about 3/4 of an hour. It's deep, literally 15-20 foot off, you drop immediately to 30 foot, so they can just play you however they want. It's not your realm, is it? It's theirs. Hopefully you're going to get a picture of me at some point, not, I don't know, not being an arse basically, because that's all I'm here for, is shits and giggles. So until another day, or when you hear an update, then we'll catch up with you. See you later.
Well, finally, it's Friday morning, and after a jig around with the rods yesterday afternoon, I managed to get the rod back on the far margin, just off the snags, and it's come good. I actually lost one last night, about midnight, off the same spot. Rod pulled up tight and unfortunately it snagged me, but first thing this morning, I think it's about 5:30, the rod went off and I darted straight out and into the lake to grab my rods, but I'm now playing it out in the boat. I'm going to pay attention, but fingers crossed we can bank this one and I'm off the mark for my first alpine carp, touch wood. Didn't like the sign of the boat, did he?
As in being ready to net?
No, yeah, ready. Getting there.
Nice fish, yeah.
Get in!
He's got his fucking
Get in! What a result! Oh, I'm made up with that. I don't even know what time it is, about 5:30. Oh, after losing that one last night, it's been a bit of a slog. But after moving around with some of the rods, George kindly given me a reel which has got more than enough line to hit the back margin and some snags. Fortunately, I've got my first alpine carp and I'm over the moon. What a venue. Let's quickly get her to shore, maybe a redrop en route. And I'm sure there's going to be a few more fish now. Yes!
Yes!
Sure do. We're making the most of being out in the boat at the same time, and just landed that fish, and we're literally going to top up with a bit of bait, redrop on the area and get back. And on our way over in the boat there's fish showing on the spot, so I'm not going to put an awful lot out, just a few scoops. Definitely were feeding hard on my spot last night and it seems like they still are, so quick drop of the rig. Let's get back to shore because I reckon there's a really good chance of another fish or two. Wow, check it out. My first alpine carp, ounces under 27 pounds, and the perfect reward after losing one about midnight last night. This one came on first light on a rig with a tiger nut and citrus S topped off over a good spread of tiger nuts and Odyssey Triple X. I can't quite believe that I finally, with a bit of perseverance, managed to land one of these stunning mirrors from the south of France. I'm absolutely over the moon, and it feels like there could be a good few more fish before the end of this session. So we're going to slip this one back, get all of my rods reset for the day, and make sure we can be in our best efforts to try and catch a few more. What a result.
That is so weird. Your rod tip's just doing...
Did it?
Yeah, mate, honestly, if you sit here, the rod's going...
Oh, I can see the bobbin going.
I don't know if it's crayfish or...
Yeah, now, come take this a sec. Right, quickly do a piece to camera. My rubber rod's going.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it's still going, is it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Bobbin's pulling
Yeah,
up.
the rod bouncing like Billy. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
it is.
crayfish.
Quickly.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were recording.
Yeah.
Well, just in the pictures, it sounds like my middle rod, which has been out there for 36 hours, is going off. So we're going to slip this one back now, and hopefully there's a carp on that rod.
Double bubble. Club tench. Oh, do the Martin Bowler. Jack's just released a very nice looking upper 20 carp, and his other rod has just been bouncing up and down. Now we put it down to a crayfish to start, but look what turned up. We've all gone a bit tenchy, but do you know what? I love these little things. And first one from the Alps, it's got to count, surely. It's almost like half carp. So yeah, even though it was on Jack's rods, yeah, I'm claiming it. So good luck, grow a bit bigger, and tell those carp to please just come a little bit further right. Stop staying up to the left. That's all. Thanks very much. Go on, you can go on your way now. Big fish angler.
Well, here we go. Just about to sit down for some lunch. It's coming up to about 2 o'clock. Hottest part of the day, and every day so far it's sort of gone quiet about this time, so I wasn't really expecting anything. Neil was treating himself to a little shower in the lake, and all of a sudden my rod absolutely peeled off. Bear in mind I'm fishing locked up, it still managed to take line, and I just about got to it before I ended up losing the rod in the lake. Thankfully I've managed to get it straight away from the snag, pulled it back, and now we're playing in them open water. But because we are playing a fish over 300 metres away, and we're fishing all pretty close together, the right thing right now to do is to get out in the boat, get above him, make sure we get him in. How does that feel, Neil?
Refreshing. Come on, let's go and get covered in fish now. I can see it. If I follow it, it's probably easier than... Well, I've acted as ghillie once more. Seems to be my thing. The earlier video we shot, I was bragging about watercraft technically poaching George's swim. So to prove a point, he decided to wrap his fish around my braid and drag it back in, because he's an arse. He did it on purpose. He could have just wound the fish in, but
Absolutely.
wipe me out, don't go near my swim again. So no, it's one of those things. We're fishing close, fishing at range, you're always going to end up with the odd problem like that, but it is what it is. Got the fish in, that's all that matters. George is rowing me back out though, that's punishment. Until later.
Wow, it is so warm, so warm. That's the rod back out anyway, fishing on the spot. Neil's got his rod back out now, even though I wiped it out. Sorry about that, Neil. Anyway, we've still got a fish in the retainer, so let's get it out and have a look, and then straight after, really important that we get some more bait knocked up, because I have a feeling this is not going to be the last fish of the session. It is so warm here, absolutely blistering hot, middle of the day, and a real surprise when this one went absolutely steaming off. Almost took my rod out into the lake with it, but I was able to manage to get onto the rod pretty quick, and I grabbed hold of it. Played it out in the boat with Neil. Big help from Neil out there, but unfortunately wiped out one of his rods. Got that sorted, got him back out, got him fishing, and now I've had a chance to look at my prize. Just over £27, like most of the fish we've had this week. Very welcome, but there are some much bigger fish in this lake, and fingers crossed we can get into them sooner. But check that out. Caught on a really simple blowback rig, a little bit of ccmoore, wafters and tigers as my hook bait. Right, I'm gonna get this girl back because we've got some more bait to knock up, and I need to get some sun cream on because it's getting pretty hot. All right, go on then, darling, off you go. Normally on these European adventures we plan to sort of bounce between lake to lake to lake, but on this occasion, because it's fishing quite well and it is exceptionally hot and there's some big fish to get after in there, I think we're going to do our whole week session on this lake. Don't you, mate?
Yeah, I think so.
Some big fish to come yet, I think.
I think so.
Definitely.
So fingers crossed we've made the right decision there, and we can stay here for the remainder of the week and get into some of them bigger shit fish. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back, get a dry t-shirt on, or in fact I might just go for a jump in the lake, and it's time to get some more bait knocked up because they are certainly getting through it.
Come out.
Yeah, it's moving very slowly.
Well, after just re-dropping his rod only about 20 minutes ago, on a new spot that Neil found, he's gone off, and Neil seems to be bent into his first daytime carp. Really hope he's going to get this one in. So Neil's trying to get it well clear of the snags before we probably dive in the boat, get ourselves out there so we don't wipe out any other lines. But touch wood, we can get this one in the net. Come on.
Good luck, boys.
Well, the guy's gone out in the boat, but unfortunately I don't think Neil's managed to keep hold of it. It looks like, from his arms waving up and down, that he's probably just kited straight into a snag, and I think he's probably lost it, judging by the fact they're going straight back out to the spot. Unfortunate with this sort of fishing, we're fishing a big wild lake right in the middle of the Alps, and it's not like it's a cleared lake like the day tickets back home. I mean, we've got people next to us right now, a dog walker, throwing the dog's ball into the lake and dogs swimming out after it. It's just one of them things. Although we're trying to do as much as we can to combat that, unfortunately it's just nature of the beast. I really feel for Neil. He's really tried hard this week, and he hasn't managed to convert a fish yet, but fingers crossed, there's still time. He's got that new spot fishing just off the side of my baited area, and I'm pretty confident he's going to catch himself an absolute chunk. What happened, Neil?
Fucked it. What you can say to that? Went round a snag again. I've got a 100% success rate of being shit at the moment. Gutted.
It's coming, mate. You're going to get the fucking big one.
That's what I said.
I'll let it go out there though.
This is just rubbing it into me.
You know what? It's like, fuck me, can you not do this?
So just making it even worse. Oh, unfortunately Neil lost his last fish. Unfortunately pulled into a trailer, and we're all feeling for him right now. George has just got him a fresh cold beer after he's re-dropped that rod. I'm just working out whether to redo my rods now for the night and get everything set. It's absolutely roasting now. I'm desperate for a swim. Neil brought down some lovely tingly lime shower gel, and I can't wait to have a bit of a shower. It's been a few days, but I think what I'm going to do is dart out in the boat in this late evening sun, reset that rod for tonight, and all of our fingers are crossed that Neil's in for another bite. I'm sure he is. It feels really good, and I think there'll be a few fish out tonight, but we'll keep you posted and see how we get on. Come on, Neil.
The temperature is finally starting to drop a little bit, and it is turning out to be a very pleasant evening. Neil's managed to get his rod back out on the spot, ready for catching an absolute chunk tonight, no doubt. And Jack has managed to get his rods back out on the spot with a large scoop and a bait over the top. Now these carp are really hungry, big carp, and we've been feeding them plenty of bait, and that's what's kept the bites coming pretty consistently. So I'm going to knock up another load of bait now, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going into it, because I've no doubt that's what we're going to be putting out probably later tonight. It's a big gravel pit essentially, big fish, and big fish love boilies. So predominantly the biggest part of it is Odyssey Triple X, and we've been using shelf life. We're away for a week, we haven't got a freezer, so it's all predominantly shelf life, and that's been in a mixture of sizes of 15, 18s, and even dumbbells going into it, so a real nice mix of different sizes. So a 5 kilo bag in an XL bucket is absolutely plenty, and then we're mixing that with half a jar of Tigers. The fish absolutely love a bit of crunch, and I'm convinced that when the fish are down feeding on the spot, crunching away at the Tigers, other fish in the area can hear that, and it's bringing them in. Also, to bring in maximum attraction, I'm adding in 2 other ccmoore components, and that is the Response Bait Booster Fish Liquid, so half a tub of that, and then we're also putting in about 50 to 100 grams of the green lipped mussel extract as a powder, and this just lingers in the water. It travels up and down the water column and just pulls fish in on the bait. So I'm going to finish knocking up this mix, because no doubt we'll probably have a fish later on tonight, and I'm going to need to get it back out on the spot.
George just knocked up another load of bait, and we've just gone and dropped it on the spots just before the evening. Neil's on the cooking, and it sounds like there's a rave at the other end of the lake or something. It's a typical thing in these public park lakes, you never really know what to expect. We've got a group of teenagers down one end having a swim and a bit of a party, but definitely sounds like there's a bit of a rave going on the other end, and Neil's doing a madness on the dinner. So we're going to feed ourselves, have a glass of wine, and hopefully we'll see you in the night with fish. If not, I'm sure we'll see you first thing in the morning. See you then. Neil's been cooking dinner. I've just started getting a few liners on my right hand rod, and it's just pulled up tight and we're away. Fingers crossed we can get this one in and tuck into a bit of dinner. George said about big beds of bait attract big fish, and check this one out. It's my new PB, 54.5 pounds caught from the French Alps, and I can't believe it. The same rig again, a tiger nut tipped with a ccmoore Citrus S over a big header, about 5 kilos of Odyssey Triple X, few tigers, and that is a new PB for me. I can't quite believe it. It weighs an absolute ton at 54.5 pounds. I'm gonna have to slip her down, but I am over the moon. Just on last light in the French Alps. I can't believe it.
Well done, mate.
Cheers. Check it out. Still can't believe it. I've just done the maddest buzz. Perfect time, late evening, so we're scrapping for pictures at last minute, but I am over the moon to catch this fish in a new PB. What a result. I'm gonna put her back now. Gonna need to reset the rod, put a bit more bait out because these big fish will smash through bait in no time. So, gonna drop this one back, boat straight back out, and see if we can catch ourselves another one. Or I think it's definitely over to Neil now. There's a couple of bigger fish in here that what we're aware of, and I definitely think Neil's due one. So we'll get her back, one last look. If I can. She's been great to us. I think we've got some amazing pictures, but it's definitely time to let her go. Get the rig set before we get last light. One last look before we go. Let her on her way. What a creature. I can't believe it. It's far exceeded my French PB. 54 and a half. I'm absolutely buzzing. What a result. Time for Neil to get one. Let's go. Well, after slipping that fish back last night at 54, I didn't quite believe it. First light this morning, I managed to actually lose a fish off the same spot. So I went straight back out in the boat, re-dropped the rig, and not even 20 minutes later, this 44-pound mirror has just turned up on the bank. Managed to reel it all the way in from the other side, didn't dive out in the boat, but what a cracker. I can't believe it. A 54 and then a 44, exactly the same rig again. Fishing a tiger nut with a citrus zest over the top, over a good spread of triple X boilies, tiger nuts and fish liquid, and I can't really believe that I've had a 50 and a 40. I'm over the moon. We're going to do a few pictures, get her back. Me and George are going to shoot to the shops while Neil's replacing his rods out there, and fingers crossed by the time we get back, Neil or George has had another bite. Check it out. Well, one last look at this lovely mid-40, a couple more pictures, and we're going to slip her back. Check her out. Absolutely cracking fish. I'm over the moon. Right, let's get her back and head off down to the shops.
Try and get grit, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror.
Yeah.
Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad bitches here, I'ma curve them all. 12.
So this is the first of a brace that I've had in very quick succession. The first one being 30, just over 30 pounds, which was a stunning fish. You'll see that come out. And then along comes this one, just as Jack and Jules come trundling down the hill to make sure I'm okay and help net it. They've been really good, well-behaved fish, I've got to say. Prior to this, we've managed to wipe every single rod out. We are fishing fairly close, so it's a risk that you have to just take with it. But this one's been really, really well-behaved. Came in well, straight in, Jack's out and netted it. So pleased to have got 2 fish in. This is amazing, and this little fella's going back now at 27 pounds. So this is the 27 that's going back to his little watery home. Well, thank you very much, fishy. There you go, time for you to go back. So happy, finally.
Well done, Neil.
Thanks team. Thanks for sticking with me, team. Team sport. Oh no.
Me and Jack have just got back from shopping, and there was Neil playing an absolute dream carp. Played it from the bank, didn't even need to bother going out in the boat, managed to land it. He had already, whilst we've been out, managed to catch himself a really, really nice 30-pounder as well. And that fish was just an absolute stunner. He'd only had it a couple of minutes literally before getting back, so pretty much a double take straight away. And that 30-pounder will no doubt reset his confidence.
Back with a bang.
Back with a bang. And we are back out in the boat, resetting those rods. And it is looking absolutely stunning. One thing I can't get over is that it's about 30 degrees, and up in the hills, way behind me, mountains, are still snow-capped. We're here getting burnt to a crisp, and there's snow-capped mountains behind us. Absolutely unreal. Right, we're just coming up to his spot now. As you can see, probably behind me, a long way back, is the bivvy site, just over 300 metres away, about 350 metres. So a long way in the boat, right down to his the bare bits of braid on his spools by the time we get back. But it's all worth it. There's a lot of effort required here, but the rewards are massive, and they're mate.
Oh yeah. Just
right,
look for our big tree now.
I've got to find the snag that he's been fishing, get these rods back in, get some bait in. Last night, fingers crossed for another chunk or two.
Keep it on the engine. You don't pick up anything. That has gone exceptionally well.
Oh,
Exceptional.
did it make you horny?
I was really pleased with the outcome, if I'm honest. And I've not been that pleased for a while. I was liking my fun. We've got Aquaman here who just seems to keep going underwater.
Johnny Aquascope.
He just loves it, doesn't he?
Basically a water baby.
He loves it. He loves a day in the water. Oh God, what a poor old man.
I know, that's your knees been in there for a while, doesn't it?
It's just the weird positions of like sitting
Pushed
on,
in there.
I've had a fucking pole up my backside all the way up. I've been sitting on that. It bloody hurts.
You love the pole up.
Oh.
That SBX line is sunk so well that they basically stand over the top of it and I'm getting zero indication.
Really?
It's just sunk just to the right of him. He's got no idea.
Oh, hello.
Game changes.
Right. So we're all sitting there just chilling out after a few disasters by all of us. I think we've had a bit of a mare today. I think today's been one of those that if we didn't have bad luck, we've had no luck. I just sat down in my bucket taking the mickey out of George again, as we do, and my rod is just hooked over, so I've jumped on it, snag fishing, grab hold of it, walk backwards, try and get him a bit away from the snags, and then we will take to the boat hopefully, just so it doesn't cause any problems with any other lines. And Jack's just been hit on the head with my net, which must mean a lucky charm. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with this. It's quite an interesting place, this. We've had thunderstorms come through, and then Saturday, because it's 32 degrees today, it's like party central, so I'm trying not to play it too far forward, so I think we'll have a massive audience just in case. I don't want to jinx it. I just want to get the fish in really and away from people, filmed and back in the water again. I'll see you shortly.
Well done, Neil.
So as you can hear, there is a massive party going on next to us. That side and that side as well. Literally, I've just finally managed to get all my rods back out, sat here with a cold drink, and Neil's rod has absolutely sprung to life. So Neil has now got another kipper in the net. We're going to try and keep this as quiet and on the low down as possible, so we're going to get it done ultra fast because we don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves and draw this party into our swim. Right, let's get it out and have a look.
Here we go with a low 20. It's another one for the day, which is really good news. We've spotted them on the drone earlier, rubbing and flanking against the old branches and logs that are out there. So yeah, they're definite hot spots for the fish. They love it over there. You can fish quite comfortably to them, but you just got to be on your rods and be a bit sensible. We're gonna get some stills of this, and then he's going back to his nice watery home.
More pictures?
We've also, we seem to have a bit of a party going on next door. We would have gone and joined them if the fishing hadn't been any good, but the fishing's kicked off, so we're going to stay our own little party over here, just the three of us. We'll have a beer to celebrate, and then we'll get the rods back out and carry on as normal.
Yeah.
You stay for the camera?
Okay. The best game.
So we've got another guest coming to our fishing trip. I think we're recruiting rapidly on Club Carp here.
Absolutely.
Right, so I think it's all about time to release him back. The party's going mad next door. I think I'll let the little fish go back and have his own little party wherever he goes to have that. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, it's nice. So here we go, another one safely released. And another wet t-shirt. Hurrah.
So while Neil's out in the boat getting his rods out, I'm going to start getting the food on. Jack's having a bit of a tidy up because tonight is our last night. We're leaving in the early hours of the morning. Fingers crossed we get another fish. But if not, I've had an absolutely amazing trip. So are the other two. Neil's managed a couple of last knock-ins fish. In fact, he managed 3. Jack's had his new PB, 50+ pound fish. A backup 40 as well. I've had a 40. What an absolute wicked session on this park lake in the middle of the French Alps. What a session. Guys, please hit the subscribe button below. It means a lot to us. Hopefully we'll get another chunk during the night. Wow, what an unreal session that was. Fishing in the Alps for a week. Some real ups and downs. A new PB for Jack. Some fantastic carp. We all caught. By far was that a tough week, but I'm sure you've seen from the footage we had a fantastic time. We're about halfway home. I'm absolutely knackered. We had to pack up in the early hours in the morning, still under darkness, and we've now got a ferry to catch in about 4 hours time. So I hope you enjoyed the film. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. And also leave a comment on where you think we should be going on our next European adventure. Till then guys, take care and thanks a lot for watching. Bye.